teachers in a role of working with the most marginalised and excluded should definitely be given a lot more external support by trained therapists if they're not trained. I don't believe that a person to be in a position of power that doesn't understand the problem, but that we definitely need to connect teachers more. I wouldn't, not so much social services, but more of on a therapeutic basis, to look at holistically, you know, the whole family or the environment that the child's coming from. In my sort of story, Wasted, my book Wasted, there's two teachers that lived halfway down the street, and they were, in my childhood, an island. When Mark Johnson went into their house, he was a little boy, you know, painting aeroplanes and, you know, listening to music and painting. And when I went back into my house, I had to play a different role because of the chaos and violence and etc. But I remember that not wanting to go home often, you know, from these people's house. So I do actually think that, you know, if they could have played more of a role in my life, that maybe things would have been different. I think the services around children, you know, we say they're professional services, but, you know, I meet these kids that have got ASBOs and they can tell you more about the CSA and an ASBO and an exclusion order than some adults. You know, they're children, but they've been forced into this adult world, not even adult world, this pseudo-subterranean world of bureaucracy and public service, and they've been robbed of their childhood, and I find that criminal. Well, I think I would change the educational structures to be one. You know, where we set the bar on achievement is completely wrong. You know, it works for some kids and absolutely fails other kids, and I think that the way our society is changing and has changed, we haven't adapted even the law, never mind the educational structures, really, to what's needed. I don't buy into academic achievement because of basically my story and that I've managed to achieve without any formal qualifications. And I know a lot of other kids that just have different needs, and so if I was, ruler for a day, it would be to change that whole structure of how we learn and look at emotional based learning, because if we get that, you will have children that will be empowered to want to go and learn themselves.